Hello Scorpio, welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you happen to be watching this video was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing. Okay. Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And there's a Seven of Swords. Let's put that into some context with our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I do this, I also want to say that if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments, okay? Finishing up the Dove and Serpent spread. Wow, this is pretty complicated here. We're going to do a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use Rider-Waite-Smith. And this is the card that we set aside, and we're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading. So I would appreciate if you stuck around until the end. See if that card can give us the confirmation that we need at the end, or if it could, tie everything together, maybe give us the missing piece of this puzzle. So we've got Major Arcana over here. That's the only major. We've got Air. Well, actually, this is very interesting. We have at the very top of the path of the Dove the Art or Temperance card. And that card rules the sign of Sagittarius. That's some fire energy there. In the path of the Dove, on the vertical axis, we have fire, fire, fire. On the horizontal axis, we have air, air, air. Fire and air, they don't necessarily get along. They don't hurt each other. They don't fight either, but they just kind of leave each other to their own devices, right? The fire has its energy, it's a very active element. The air has its energy, it's a very active element, and they both just kind of leave each other alone, right? They don't help each other, but they don't try to get in each other's way. So this is very interesting to me. And then when we go to the path of the Serpent, it's all earth, 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 and a little bit of water. So it's the passive elements over here. Very active, very passive, very yin-yang kind of thing going on. Okay? Well, let's find out what exactly all of this energy is about. So the Seven of Swords that we start with. I think right now in your life you're having a difficult time focusing on what you need to really be doing. Okay? I feel like you maybe sit down to start working on your project, to start writing your book, or start typing a letter, writing a letter to somebody. You sit down to start putting your thoughts down somewhere on paper or into, something. You sit down to start expressing yourself. But it feels to me like we're getting kind of distracted by things where maybe we have that really important letter that we need to write. We need to reach out to one particular person. We are trying to get our thoughts down on paper. We're trying to get our book started. We're trying to just maybe sit down and start journaling finally. But we end up going down a rabbit hole here or there. We end up maybe on the web, on Reddit or on Facebook, or we end up just kind of looking up random subjects, or there are various things in our environment that need our attention. Oh, I'm just about to start journaling for the day, but then the cat needs me, or my kids need something from me, or there's just a lot of other things to do. And before we know it, oh well, it's bedtime. I didn't get to it today. I feel like we're in this energy right now where we really want to do something. We're very focused on it. We're very intent on doing it. But when it comes down to actually doing it, there are all these other things that get in the way, and then time's up. Maybe I'll try again tomorrow. So I wonder if this is a little bit about time management. I wonder if there is something that we're avoiding here. Right? If there is some aspect of this, whether it is starting the journal, whether it is writing the letter to somebody, or to to your spouse, your partner, writing a letter to your parents or to the long-lost friend or to whoever it may be, right? Writing a resignation letter to your employer. It doesn't have to be writing. That's just the example that I'm using, though. But whatever this task is that we sit down to do, it's in some way we're expressing ourselves. Okay, it may be expressing ourselves to an air sign person or a fire. It could be either one, air or fire here. If it is, if these cards do indicate a particular person, I think they probably have a very unique mixture of fire and water in their chart. Now, you may not know them that well to really be able to say that, okay? And that's fine. They don't need to be an air or a fire sign for this to really be about your communication with them, okay? I think what the elements in this path of the dove here, what this is really talking about is our inability to focus enough in the moment to get this thing done, you know? Because I feel like there are a lot of these other distractions, some distractions that we create for ourselves, right? We maybe get off on a tangent, we start researching something, or we start watching YouTube videos or something, right? Or something in our environment that is that needs our attention, needs our focus. Whichever way it rolls, it creates this Seven of Swords energy in us, okay? And I think this is really where we're at with things. And I think, like I said, we really have the conviction. We've got that Ace of Swords right in the middle. We really want to do this. We're firm, we're committed, we're resolute. I want to do this. It feels right. I need to do this. Everything seems right, except when we sit down at our desk or at our computer, tablet, and in our office or wherever we're doing this. We start getting distracted. Our mind starts to wander, and pretty soon there's no time left to do it, and we have to try again tomorrow. Now, we see these two court cards here, and this is a Princess of Swords and a Prince of Wands. There could be, this could be several things. This could be people in our environment, right? Two maybe younger people in our environment that are needing things from us. These could be our kids, our pets, our plants, you know, or people around us. External distractions, right, coming from other personalities. And this could really be distractions coming from within ourselves. This could be intellectual distractions, trying to, we're researching one thing, and that leads us to another thing, and pretty soon we're down a rabbit hole. This could lead to distractions of a fiery nature, right, where we kind of start working on some other creative project, something else that feels good in the moment. You know, you sit down to write in your journal, but then you realize, well, you know, I really want to just like draw or do something creative, or I really want to listen to some music or something like that, something that has a more kind of creative, feel-good kind of aspect to it, you know. These two cards, though, are also representing forces in you, aspects in you. And I guess we'll first go to the Prince here of Wands, because this is the second card. This is the card that's really covering this distraction. This is really kind of what these distractions are all about. And this is your learning through these daily activities, through these events, through these distractions and through these energies, how you can acquire control over your own impulses, right? This is kind of, the prince here is still learning how to be the ruler, right? Learning how to be the king or queen. So it is, this energy is out in the field, doing battle, experimenting, going on quests, trying different things to see what works, to see what kind of ruler am I going to be. But you're not the ruler yet. So we're learning about ourselves, and I think that through these distractions, as long as we're aware, as long as we're conscious of what's going on, we're learning from it. We're realizing that maybe this is not the environment for us, or this time of day doesn't work for us, or there are too many distractions, or I shouldn't try to do this work with the TV on, or all of those different things externally. But then internally realizing that I perhaps am lacking a little bit of the discipline necessary to really be the ruler, to really be in charge, right? It's not so much about the inability to actually get started writing this letter or doing the journaling or getting started on this project, this contract, this proposal, whatever this is. I don't feel like this is your main source of income. I feel like this is something that in certain ways, in a certain Prince of Wands way, you feel like you could push it off. This is kind of the procrastinator right here. It's not absolutely crucial that it needs to be done today or you're going to get fired, right? I think that whatever you're doing has a lot of implications on the path of the Serpent. A lot of this earth and water results from it. But it's not something that is so urgent you need to do it today. You're on a deadline, you're going to get yelled at or fired if you don't do it. So in your mind, in that part of your mind represented by the Prince of Wands, I can do it tomorrow. You're not consciously saying that because you're like, I'm resolved, I'm going to do it, I want to do this, it's going to be great, I'm going to enjoy this, it's going to be very productive, I'm feeling very creative. But then in the moment, when all these other distractions come up, from either from within or from without, this Prince of Wands says, well, I'm going to go do these other things because that's where my energy is really needed. That's where that should be priority. It's almost that this energy is making excuses, right? Kind of emphasizing the importance of these other things so that we can put this off for another day, right? And then also I'm seeing this Princess of Swords, and this is kind of in the immediate future. This might be the breakthrough that we kind of need to get things going, because this Princess of Swords is very resistant to doing this work, and I think we need to know, why is she so defensive? It's not gender specific, but it's a feminine energy card. Why is the Princess of Swords so defensive? What are they trying to avoid? What part of you is trying to avoid doing this central work, whatever this is? Why are they allowing these distractions? Why are they being so defensive about it? Why are they being so touchy? Why are they kind of, almost looking for any other distraction? And again, I'm not saying you're doing this consciously, but I'm saying there's this aspect of it where there's some kind of avoidance. It's some part of us that maybe really dreads doing this for some reason. Okay? And I think that is discovering the answer, finding this Princess of Swords and asking the question, why are you so afraid to do this? Why are you so resistant to it? I think that's going to give you the breakthrough that you need to get to the path of the Serpent, right? Because it's like all of the active elements over here on the path of the Dove, they're active but not in a really constructive way. Do you know what I mean? They're actively trying to avoid something, right? Actively not being productive. But then on the path of the Serpent, we see all of this yielding energy. We're accepting the situation. We are yielding to these requirements. We're quieting down these resistant parts of ourselves and allowing ourselves to flow like water over the earth and getting these things done, right? So it's like it's a passive activity over here. It's an active passivity over here. It's real yin yang, right? I hope that it's coming across clearly. Let's go to the Six of Swords in the recent past. I think that this is all part of a larger plan for you. This could be like a side business, or like I said, maybe like a contract or something, a business proposal, something that's going to change your physical future, okay? This could be the resignation letter. Maybe you're finally going to walk away from this job, this career, and start something else. whatever it is, there has been a lot of forethought. You've thought it through. And even if this is something like journaling, you've thought about how important it is for you to journal, to keep a record of your thoughts and feelings and activities. And you know that this is going to really lead to a lot of progress in your life, maybe of a more psychological or spiritual or kind of self-development way. But also, I think, in a physical way. Maybe it's keeping a diary of the keeping a food log or an activity log, an exercise log or something, to keep us accountable so that we can make these positive changes that we see on the path of the serpent. Okay? So it's something that's been thought through. It's not just something kind of random or haphazard. It's something that you've planned out. You know why you want to do this. You know that there is this positive benefit to it. For some reason, we're still very resistant to it. But we sit down at least every night with the intention of doing it or of starting it. And then we allow ourselves to be distracted from it. And then the morning time comes, and in the morning we're convicted again. We've got the clarity. We've got all of our energies, every aspect of our being is committed to this. Everything is really right in the center. We're centered and grounded and committed. And then as the day goes on, we get pulled in many directions. 10 of Wands, our energy goes into a million different things. And by the end of the night, we're like, well, it's bedtime now, maybe tomorrow. And then we wake up in the morning and we're gung-ho again. We're committed, we're resolved. So it's almost like we're two different people, and one in the morning, one at night. I'm sure we've all had that experience. In the morning, we're very resolute on something, but then in the evening, we're just like, I didn't have time to do it today. Or the other way around. Maybe at night, you're saying, damn it, tomorrow I'm going to do it. But then we wake up in the morning, we're running a little bit late, we hit the snooze button, the weather's not great, I've got these extra errands to run, I'm waiting on my favorite pen to get here from Amazon, whatever it may be. But this process, this cycle, we don't realize how exhausting it truly is. So a lot of your efforts, a lot of your energy is being wasted. All of this energy that you have of this conviction and this strength of purpose, in the morning. And then all of this distraction during the day or as the time goes on, we're trying to pull ourselves back to our focus, back to this task. And this struggle, this war kind of within us is creating so much of an energy leakage. It's really wasting a lot of this precious energy that could be devoted into this project, this whatever it is, and really channeled into this earth and water energy. It could be put to really good use, but I think it's just being kind of wasted with this internal struggle. We're struggling with ourselves to just get started because there's too much active energy on this path, right? Now they don't, like I get fire and air, they don't get in each other's way. They just say, okay, yeah, you can go 100 miles an hour and you can go 100 miles an hour. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of energy. That's 200 miles an hour. So there's no restraint, there's no balance, there's no kind of, there's no equilibrium here. You know what I mean? Air, you can go at 50%, fire can go at 50%. Maybe we could do 80-20, 75-25 some days, whatever. 60-40. But if everything is wide open going 100%, you're overloading the system. We're wasting a lot of energy there. There's no possible way that you can keep up that speed on those two separate channels, And I think that's why at the top we've got this Art or Temperance card. Now this is the only major arcana card, so it is something where we're looking for this balance. We're looking for a way to reconcile these two different versions of ourself, right? The night Scorpio and the morning Scorpio. The one who's very resolved to do this, and then the one that wants to be doing everything else. So we really have to kind of figure out how to consolidate all of these forces, this air and this fire. We've got to just kind of either shut one down and activate the other one, or just in some way we have to get all of this kind of united behind one purpose. And I don't know how to do that other than talking to this Princess of Swords and saying, why are we so resistant to this? What is it about this project that is keeping our energy kind of going in two directions, right? And we're looking for this balance. We're looking for a way to reconcile these opposite intentions, right? Because nighttime Scorpio says, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Morning time Scorpio says, I'm doing it today. And then it doesn't get done. So this is a real art. This is a real kind of trying to finesse ourselves a little bit. And it might involve a lot of this kind of introspection, really getting to know this Princess of Swords and saying, why are you so defensive? Why are you resisting this? What is it about this that scares you so much that we can't even really get started doing it, you know? Once we can achieve a little bit of that art and strategy, once we can get a little bit of this subtlety, we can finesse it a little bit and we can actually get started. That's the difficult part, is getting started, right? But once we do, I really see a lot of good energy coming your way, a lot of this good earth energy, 6 of discs. Once the ball gets rolling, you're going to wonder, God, why didn't I do this years ago? Why am I just now doing it? Why was I so resistant to getting started? Because it seems so easy, right? And I think you're going to be kicking yourself a little bit for delaying so long. Again, not that you're delaying intentionally, but the sooner we can reconcile all of this active passivity, get over to some passive activity, things are really going to start just snowballing. It's going to just get better and better, easier and easier, faster and faster. And there's going to be no resistance. It's going to be just smooth, right? Everything is going to be in alignment. Everything is going to be resonating, and you're going to wish you'd done it sooner, you know? So this energy here, this is you really, like once you get started with something, then it comes easily. Then the creativity is flowing through that central channel, and all of your chakras are activated, and you're just pouring out this energy into a very productive space, okay? It's like we got to get the engine going first. That's the hard part, is getting the thing to turn over. Once it turns over, it just hums. You know? And I think this is something that you know about yourself, that that first step is the most difficult. And you know, I think you know, that once you get started, it's going to be easy. It's going to just happen. It's going to just like flow, you know? And I think part of the resistance from this Princess of Swords, now the Princess is the earth element of the swords, right? The earth of air. And here we have the earth element in the environment. I think that part of the reluctance is that it's going to upset the kind of flow and harmony that we have now, right? Because again, you're someone that once you get started with something, you get into a groove, it's really easy and comfortable and smooth flowing. I think you're in one of these kind of smooth flows now, and trying to kick over this engine, trying to get this other thing going, is really going to disrupt the smooth flow that you have now, this harmony and rhythm. So we're kind of taking what's working now, the comfortable place we're in now, and we're throwing a wrench into it. We're really just we're tinkering with it. We're maybe trying to really overhaul the whole thing. And that could be where the resistance is coming from. It's like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, just because something is working and we're comfortable with it and it's familiar and it feels okay, doesn't mean that it's really working optimally. So I think that once you do kick this engine over and things start rolling, it's going to disrupt your life a little bit. There's going to be some uncertainty. There's going to be a moment where the ground feels shaky. You know, I think we can expect that. I don't think that's going to be a surprise. But this is also about your balance. You're able to really, you're able to stand firm and stand upright and keep your balance even though the ground is shaking beneath you a little bit. Okay? And this could be the uncertainty of, resigning from your job or embarking on a new, career path or new employment journey, starting your own business or just getting into a different career field, making different investments, moving, changing your home, changing some sort of a relationship dynamic. If this is like writing a letter to an old friend or your parents or something, or reaching out to someone, whatever the case is, it's going to create at least a moment, a period of time where you're going to be a little nervous. You're going to be a little worried. It's going to just be, you don't know how the universe is going to react to what you've done once you finally get started. So that could be, like I said, why we're having trouble getting that engine to turn over. Okay? But the very next card is the Princess of Discs. So this is talking about all the kind of unlimited potential. This is all of the future manifestations, the future success and achievement. This is all the money that you would be leaving on the table if you don't do this. It's still in potential form, and maybe that's part of your worry too, is that you don't like counting your eggs before they've hatched, right? I think that's the phrase. Counting your chickens before they hatch, that's it. So you don't really want to get your hopes up for something that hasn't manifested yet. And that's part of this shakiness. It's part of this uncertainty, this worry. But I really think there's a lot of potential here, and you're not going to be able to realize any of this potential if you don't get this thing going, get it off the ground, get moving. Now, I don't know that this is a financial thing, that this is business or cash or money. But it could be. Whatever the physical results of this thing are, have the potential to be very rewarding, very lucrative, very satisfying, very fulfilling. Okay, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whether it's all of these things, whether it is where you live, your physical environment, whether this is how you make money, whatever it may be, the dynamic of your relationship with someone, you're not going to know the beauty of this if we don't get started on it. So there's a risk there. Sure, there's a risk. This is the risk card, kind of, right? There's fear and worry here in that position. This is the risk that we're taking. This is the gamble, a little bit. We're betting on this uncertainty that it will stabilize and it will produce these amazing, fantastic, terrific, unbelievable results. The final card is some water energy. 5 of Cups. So this is the same kind of uncertainty that we see here with the physical ground, your environment, your finances, the dynamic between you and other people in your physical world, right? We also have some movement in the emotional sphere. So I think that through this work, you're going to be loosening up a lot of emotional energy that's, I think, been kind of locked in. That could be another reason why this Princess of Swords is the reluctant one, wants to fight this thing away, wants to delay it, prolong it, avoid it, fight it off, because it's going to loosen up some feelings that we have. It's going to loosen up a lot of this kind of emotional, the tears might start flowing. Tears of joy, yeah, but tears of sorrow, tears of relief even, right? To finally have this thing, all of this ice, all of this frozen emotion, to have it flowing again and have it kind of be moving again, is going to be a relief. It might be overwhelming. It might have a lot of mixed emotions. It might be a bit of a roller coaster internally. But it's going to be relief because all of that built up fluid now can drain, right? I know that's kind of a disgusting image, but I feel like that's what's going on. I feel like it's building up and building up. And we need to just we need to loosen that stuff up, right? We need to unfreeze it. So I think that's another kind of big component of this and why there might be some resistance. I'd like to go to the mystery card now before this video gets too long. And I wonder if this is going to be another major arcana card, because we only had the one. We didn't talk much about it, the art or temperance card. I feel like that's just kind of the umbrella. That's the energy that is kind of shining down on all of this. Or maybe that's the card that really is summarizing this entire reading in a nutshell. That there needs to be this, we need to be able to blend the yin-yang again with the active passivity or the passive activity. We need to somehow find a way to consolidate our forces, really a way to, we just lost the overhead camera there. We need to find a way to bring the nighttime Scorpio and the daytime Scorpio together, right, into one mind. Maybe this will be an ace. No. It's an 8. An 8 of swords. So we started with all of this air energy. The way forward is the air energy. The horizontal plane on the path of the dove is all air, 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 right? So I think the air really is the key to it. And the air means it's a mental thing. There's a mental block. And the air really is this Princess of Swords. I think this is the key. Finding out, asking the question, why are we so damn resistant to this? Why are we trying to fend this thing off? Why are we trying to prevent it or even sabotage it? It could be that we are self-sabotaging. And maybe that's because of some of these fears and concerns that we talked about on the path of the serpent. But I think that's what's keeping us kind of locked in place. We're accepting a position of immobility that's really an illusion. Just like the figure on this card, right? Kind of bound and hoodwinked, unable to move, a prisoner. But they don't realize that the way out is right there in front of them. So we're kind of doing it to ourselves. It's kind of a self-sabotage. It's kind of a, we're creating a little bit of a prison with our own scattered energy, our own doubts, our own worries and concerns. There's a lot of these things that are, I think, on a day-to-day basis, keeping us from really getting started on this. And so we're not making any movements, we're not making any progress. And I think it has a lot to do with this air energy. And the air energy is then going to be the solution to this problem that it created. So it's kind of a self-contained system here. And the answers, I think, are right here in our mind, and we just have to ask the right questions. Right. Now I'm going to ask about the extended reading. Would you like to see it? If you do, click on the link right there. You can have access to all of the extended readings, not just for Scorpio, but for all of the signs. This was your tarot reading, a timeless tarot reading, which means whenever you happen to be watching this, you were meant to see it. It was meant to find you. Thank you for letting me read for you.